Hi guys, it's Queen of Skulls. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a look obviously for Liliana. I'm going to show you how I do my base set of makeup, the eyeshadow, and then what products I use for the lines. Keep watching if you want to learn how to do this look. Hey guys, so just washed my face, so we need to moisturize. First, I'm using the Pro Collagen Rose Facial Oil by Elemis, and I'm putting that all over my face and neck. This is to prevent wrinkles and it just smells really good. I love it. Then I'm using the Healthy Skin Anti-Wrinkle Cream with Sunscreen by Neutrogena because we're 30 now and we gotta prevent wrinkles and skin cancer however we can. Guys, please wear sunscreen. It's really important. I know that during quarantine, most of us aren't going outside as often, but you still need vitamin D somehow, whether you're taking it through a vitamin or whether you're spending some time outside. Just make sure you're always wearing sunscreen. Then, to prime my face, I am using a tiny bit of the Photo Finish Primer from Smashbox. This has been a staple for me for years, and I used to use the blue one back when I had acne. I'm mostly putting the majority of it in my T-zone and then spreading it to the edges of my face. The next step is concealer, and this is the HD Studio Photogenic from NYX Cosmetics in the shade beige. I'm putting it on the dark circles under my eyes because, let's be honest guys, I'm still not sleeping well, even in quarantine. Then we're going to go in with some foundation, and this bottle gave me some trouble. I couldn't get any out, so forgive me. The bottle was empty. I'm actually going to be using the NYX's Born to Glow in Medium Olive. It's a brand new foundation. I've never tried it before, but I really ended up liking it. So I put a little bit on my brush, I dotted around the area I'm going to start with, and then I blend that in, and I continue to do that all around my face and my neck. Now, foundation isn't my forte, guys, so if you have any questions about that, I can direct you to others, makeup artists who have better skill with foundation. I'm still learning. Honestly, I have found myself blending too far down my neck, and it's quite noticeable when you do it way too far down. I'm also adding it a little bit, like whatever is left over on my brush, to my eyelids to blend in my veins on my eyelid. I know everyone does the order of their makeup different. Some people like to do their eyeshadow and eyes first and then go back with their foundation to prevent getting fallout on their foundation. Just me personally, I like to do my foundation first because it's my weakest area and I know that I can clean up any fallout that I do get on my face. I've figured out how to do that. Then we're going to set our T-zone with this Pacifica crystal powder. We don't want to set our whole face with this powder because it does have a little bit of a highlight and you don't want your entire face to be shiny. Also guys, I have no idea how to bake. Like I watch people bake, but I've never done it correctly. Then we're going to set the rest of our face with this Ben Nye powder in Fair. If you guys don't have the products that I'm using, don't go out and buy them, just use whatever you have. I happen to have this Ben Nye powder because I took a makeup class at my college. So use drugstore stuff, you know, it's fine to use affordable products. Most of my stuff is from drugstore and Target and NYX. I love NYX, I'm obsessed with it. Then we're going to prime our eyes with the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer, and I believe this one is anti-aging as well, so prevent those eye wrinkles. A couple dots on my eyelid, and then I'm going to blend it in with my ring finger because your ring finger is the weakest finger, I believe, so that way you're not going to be pressing on your eyelid super hard. Get the under eye as well. And then we're going to be using the Mi Vida Loca Remix palette by Kat Von D Beauty, or KVD Beauty as it's known now. Mostly the neutrals and one shade of purple. So first I'm going to set the eyeshadow primer with this neutral color. Now you don't have to do this, I've seen other people, you kind of set the primer so that the darker shadows don't get stuck in the eyeshadow primer. You can kind of blend them easier, but if you want a more vibrant color, then don't do this, or use a white eyeshadow primer. Pat that all around the eyelid and under the eyes, and then we're going to take this really pretty orchid purple and blend that into the crease. Now I start really softly because you can always add more later. It's not as easy to take eyeshadow off. You could always blend it out, but just start small. So I'm going to use windshield back and forth motions in my crease. I kind of blend that above my crease on my brow bone and a little bit onto my eyelid. And I go back and forth just to make sure that they both look even and one isn't darker than the other or have a weird unblended spot. And then I'm going to use the Game of Thrones Urban Decay palette. Sorry about my framing there. We're going to use this dark wine shade. It's got a little bit of sparkle in it. And we're going to darken up the crease a little bit on the outside and then maybe about a third to halfway across the eyelid. Put it in the outer V, as they all say. And then with a flat eyeshadow brush, I'm kind of bringing that more into my outer V. It's easier for me to use a flat brush than like a pointed blending brush. You just can't get as much onto your eyelid. And then we're going to use the sparkly black shade from the Game of Thrones palette to darken up that outer corner again, trying to give all the different purples more dimension. And then you could bring that in about halfway to 2/3 as well. I had a little oopsie where it got on my eyelid, so I just wiped that off as best as I could. And then with a fluffy brush, I'm just kind of blending that all together, making sure that there aren't any harsh lines and that it all kind of ombres together. And I'm going back with that really pretty purple, and I'm adding more of that since we blended it away with the black. I got these 3 eyeshadows from Urban Decay specifically for Liliana makeup, and I totally forgot about them even though they were sitting right next to me. So the glitter one is called Ether, the middle purple one is called Flash, and the outer, or I guess middle of the palette, center of the palette, is Psychedelic Sister. It happens when you're doing makeup that you don't have a plan, so you just kind of wing it, right? So I'm trying to swatch them to see which one I want to put on my eyelid. I mean, in theory, all of them, because they're all gorgeous. And I'm patting it on so that the fallout doesn't go onto my cheeks, that it mostly will sit into the skin on my eyelid. And then we're going to use the other side of the same brush to dip into Psychedelic Sister to put on the inner part of my eyelid. Not all the way to the inner corner, just on the actual eyelid. Because then we're going to take the sparkly shade and put it on the inner corner. Flash, I believe. I already forgot the name of it. We're patting that on again because we don't want the glitter to go all over our face. The foundation will work so hard to set. And blend, guys. Blend whenever you want to, blend whenever you can. It's always a good idea. Then we're going to start doing the under eye. We're going to take that really pretty orchid purple and bring it all the way under the eyelids. Since this is a dramatic cosplay look, you can go a little farther under your eyelids than I did. I just, you know, when you're trying to film a video, you get a little nervous. And then we're going to take that really pretty wine purple from the Game of Thrones palette and do that to the outer half to third of your under eyelid, and then also with black. And then I like to use the Voluminous Liner Noir from L'Oreal Paris, and also the matte liner from NYX. So what I do is I use the Voluminous Liner Noir to paint on my wings because it's a felt tip marker almost, and those are my favorite for drawing wings. And then I go in with the NYX matte liner to line the rest of my eyes and kind of connect the liner to the wings. Kind of laughing at myself because it's already difficult to do wings anyways, and then trying to do it on camera, making sure your face and your eyes are in frame and also not messing up the wing. While we're letting that dry, we're going to apply blush, bronzer, contour, and all that. We're using the blush from Benefit Cosmetics. It's the Hervana Nights. And I'm kind of laughing because I've already hit pan and I've had this blush for years, but it's my favorite and it's still good to use. And this palette is, I think it's 11 Beauty palette from Forever 21. And then to kind of deepen the blush, we're going to use a dark red blush and just dip very lightly when you're using darker colors. I'm going to gently tap it onto my face and then blend it in, because you can easily go too much with dark blush like this. Again, I'm going back and forth just to make sure that there's enough so that you can see the blush, and also so that it's even on both sides. Then we're going to use the Hoola bronzer from Benefit. I'm going to go ahead and do my brows and mascara off camera. Then I'm going to go in with the Fenty Beauty highlight palette. It's so pretty. First, we're going to take that really light purple shade and put that on the brow bone, just very lightly. And sometimes the brush isn't good enough, so I use my finger, and no, I'm not trying to flip you guys off, sorry about that. If you want to go for a more subtle highlight, I would use a brush, but if you want a really blinding, awesome highlight, then go ahead and use your finger. And then I dipped into the center one, which is more of like a metallic gold, and I put that on my nose. And then using the white highlight, I put that on my inner corners. I forgot to tell you what my reference photo is. It's actually Liliana Defiant Necromancer by Carla Ortiz. I find that it's easiest to wear a strapless shirt when you're going to be doing body paint like this, because straps can get in your way if the makeup goes past your straps or underneath your straps. Spaghetti straps are easy, but again, they might rub the makeup off. So to draw the lines, I have the 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. It's from Urban Decay. It says it's waterproof and long-lasting. And I have it in 2 shades because I wasn't sure which shade I would like best or which one would glide easier on my skin versus like my eyes. So I have it in Psychedelic Sister and also in Vice. I believe I ended up using Psychedelic Sister on for the lines because it was a little bit softer, so I knew it wouldn't drag on my face. Again, you don't have to buy these specific products. If you know of a drugstore brand that has a good purple liner, then use that. I have used many products to try and get these lines. I've used cream shadows, I've used just eyeshadow by itself. I actually didn't have a purple cream shadow to begin with, so I had to combine pink and like a dark blue. That was awful. It came out okay, but it was awful to have to like go back with 2 colors versus just having purple. Another product I tried was liquid lipstick. It was the right color, but I found that it wiped off really easily since it's a little bit more greasy than eyeliner is. I even tried setting that with setting powders, eyeshadow, setting spray, everything, and it was a disaster. So for the face, most of the time it ends up being the same. The lines end up being exactly the same. And I try and zoom in as much as I can to get her face markings, but each time I do this for my face and for my body, the lines are always different. So you don't have to match my lines. You don't even have to match the lines on any Liliana magic card. As long as you have lines that are purple, pink, black, whatever color, you know, blue, people are gonna know who you are. So if they're not perfect, no one's gonna come up to you and say, your lines aren't right, they're not exactly like X card. So just kind of go with it. And I know that whenever I do this for real, like for a convention, for a Magic Fest, a GP, or an SCG event, I'm awake at 5 or 6 in the morning in the bathroom while my friends are still asleep. We get to sleep in until right before the event starts, and I'm in the bathroom in front of a mirror trying to do this. So when I'm doing this, I'm usually, you know, half asleep trying to look at reference photos. So just go with it. And also my lines aren't straight, so that's another thing. I've had to kind of let go of it being perfect because none of my friends who usually go with me are like makeup artists or have a knowledge of makeup, so I couldn't ask them to draw it for me. It's also not very easy to draw on your dominant side. I'm right-handed, so I'd be drawing on my right shoulder. It's really hard to paint with a paintbrush, so using this eyeliner, my lines still aren't exactly how I want them. It's easier to do with an eyeliner pencil than it is with a brush. My lines were always so crooked and curvy, which sometimes that's okay, but certain lines you want them to be straight. And also, I didn't really test for this video where my top would be. Normally at this point, while I'm getting ready for a convention, I would already have the top in the bathroom with me ready to go so that I could put it on and have it as a reference point for where my lines need to stop or where they aren't going to show. If you're doing another version of Lily that doesn't have a shawl scarf over her shoulder, then just draw all the lines across your chest and your shoulders. But if you're doing Defiant Necromancer, or I think is it Liliana the Veil, or just Liliana Best? Either way, the Steve Argyle version, she doesn't have a shawl over her shoulders, so you can just draw all the lines. For me, I would only draw the right side of her lines because my left side's going to be covered with the belly dancer shawl. Now I'm going back in with the other liner, Vice. It's a little bit darker, and I'm just kind of adding some dimension to the line so that they're not all the same color, just to break it up a bit. Darkening places that I didn't press hard on or fill in very well. Now with a very fluffy brush and going back to that Ben Nye powder, we're going to go back and set all of these lines. You can go in with a skinny brush and set it with purple eyeshadow, but again, that is just so much work. I've done it, it's not fun. So personally, I would use a translucent powder, maybe even highlighting powder, and just go over all the lines. If you want it to be really extra, which I sometimes do this, you can actually go in and highlight and contour your neck and your chest, so like your collarbone, your cleavage if you want to, and then put some bronzer and maybe some glitter on your shoulders if you want to do that. And then for the lips, I'm using a NYX liquid suede lipstick, and I believe the color is Tea and Cookies. I went for pink just because in the picture it doesn't look like she has any lip color on, and I wanted to stay as neutral to my lip tone as possible. Yes, I know I don't have black hair right now, but you know what? I didn't want to find my wig or put temporary color in my hair. I'd like to do a Liliana tutorial, like cosplay tutorial, but since I've already made it, I'm not sure how that would work out. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe. Thank you again for watching. Bye!